What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Element Vision video. It's been a while, but we are here today with a tier list video specifically for the natural 5-star families in the game, and we are really going to be critiquing them for our current PvP contents that we have. Technically we've got 5, but since Themed Arena isn't released quite yet, I do feel like we're gonna have to do a dedicated tier list for that specific content because of how unique it is. If you haven't seen any Themed Arena content, check out my Guildie listless. I'll throw his channel down below. Show him some support and love because he's doing a great job. He's hosting RTA tournaments already in our guild alliance, so if you do want to join up with the hoes, hit me up on Discord or hit up Dop the Gamer. We'll get you in there, we'll find you a spot. There's lots of great resources and great people to chat with, so definitely head over there. But with all of that said, we're really just going to be talking or grading around the 4 PvP contents that we have: regular arena, elite arena, airship wars, and territory wars. This tier list is going to be completely biased, okay? It's going to be based off of my experience playing the game in the higher PvP ranks. I don't have every single hero in the game. You guys can see I'm missing quite a few RGB natural 5-star heroes, as well as a bunch of LD heroes. So I will be trying to use my experience using the heroes along with my experience battling the heroes and combine those two, and hopefully I give you guys something accurate. And if you are wondering why should I even trust or watch this video from this random YouTuber, I do want to say, you know, I've hovered around the top 5 rank in Classic Arena for quite some time now. I've finished rank number 1 in Elite Arena. I tend to hit that 20 wins every single reset. I also hover around in our guild. We bounce between rank 1 and rank 2 for airship wars, and then for territory wars we just have such a strong guild. We've held rank 1 for maybe a month and a half now, so I definitely have experience with most of the competitive heroes in the game. But that doesn't mean that if I rate one of the heroes that you're using lower than you think I should, that you should just stop using them. Take this tier list with a grain of salt, please. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. This tier list should be changing as time goes on because I know the developers do balance the game quite often, and I do know we do have a natural 5-star hero or family coming out relatively soon. If you haven't seen in the official Discord, there is a fairy family coming, and they have leaked 3 of the heroes in that family, their kits, so they look kind of strong. They look like they're going to counter a couple of the strong meta heroes right now, but we're just going to be rating what is going on right now on a Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, but once again, if you do enjoy today's video, please hit that thumbs up button and let's get started. And here we are. To start off with the ratings, Triple S is going to be god tier heroes. This tier is reserved for the best of the best. There should only be a few in this ranking. And then D tier is going to be for heroes that definitely need a little bit of love. Maybe they need a slight buff or a change to their kit to be a little bit more viable, but you might still be able to have success with them. But unfortunately, I would not recommend building them up unless you've built up every other higher ranked hero in this list. So with all of that said, those are going to be how we kind of grade the heroes in the rankings. I just want to throw a couple of the triple S tiered heroes that I know for sure are going to be in there, just so we kind of have like a baseline of what to compare the other heroes that we're going to rank. I know for sure Lightners 1000% belongs in the triple S tier, just because she is one of the best supports for every PvP content in the game. She not only has a revive that isn't actually an active ability, it's a passive ability that is easy to stack and get the max stack, so you get that res off. But also she has a cleanse, she's got action bar push, she has sustain, she's got the healing on her skill 1, the healing on the skill 2, and then not only that, I mean that sounds like a lot already, but she also has mitigation from her passive when there are shields on heroes. So this hero is just absolutely busted. I feel like she might need a little adjustment, like maybe like a couple extra stacks to get that res off or something. I don't know. I don't have as much of a problem with her anymore that I used to, but that's also because I've got some of the better answers for her now. I've got Dark Assassin, I've got Dark Specialist. Without those guys, you're gonna be having kind of a tough time unless you are just going for the one shot or you have some sort of anti-revive hero that will help you out once she gets her max stacks. But yeah, she's definitely, just to start off, she is absolutely getting thrown in that triple S tier. Also another triple S tier hero that I feel like is just dominating the PvP meta, Light Specialist. There's not a lot of counterplay for this hero currently. If your opponent is fast enough, you're pretty much, you have to anticipate that you're going to get stripped, you're going to get your cooldowns increased, and it's just not going to be a good time. Even with the lowish base speed on Light Specialist, I feel like this hero is just so amazing. If you pulled Light Specialist, that is just pat on the back. You've won PvP, you've won real-time arena, because I know this hero is definitely going to be up in the ranks once that game mode does get released as well. But this hero, you know, like I said, has the increased cooldown, has the buff removal, has control on the skill 2. Yeah, it has so much going for it. It excels in that role completely. So we might, I don't know, go once we get towards the end of the video, I'll do like a little bit of rearranging, or you know, throughout the video we'll do rearranging, so make sure you watch all of it because I'll try to explain as much as possible. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and leave Light Specialist right next to that Lightners. Next up, a couple other top tier heroes that I know for sure. Dark Assassin. If you pull a Dark Assassin, you've just won yourself one of the best single target nukers in the game. If you pair him with a cooldown resetter or an action bar booster, so he's able to cycle his turns to get that skill 3 back, you are just gonna be able to explode everybody. I just pulled this hero myself a couple days ago, and I am loving PvP right now, because who doesn't like seeing a 50,000 damage nuke that ignores defense and ignores passives? It's just such a, oh my gosh, I love this hero. We're definitely throwing him in double S tier. He does have some counters, like he is kind of weak to the immortal set, so if you're throwing the revive set on your heroes, he's, you know, he can one shot them once, but he can't infinitely do that one shot. So that's going to be a counter for him. He's also a little bit squishy. Yeah, I mean, he does bring sustainability with his skill too, that can heal up whoever he selects based off of the debuffs they have, and then he does go into stealth mode, so that does bring him a little bit of survivability, but he's still on the squishier side, so that is another downfall of his. But he absolutely belongs in that double S tier. I don't think he is quite triple S tier worthy, but he's definitely borderline. Another amazing LD hero that I got lucky with is the Dark Specialist. Oh my gosh, if you pull this hero, do not sleep on him, or her, whatever the specialist is. I at first was kind of sad that I pulled this guy, just because not a lot of people talk about him or are excited for him. But once you actually start using the Dark Specialist, you will completely understand what I'm talking about. He cannot be countered. You don't have to build for crit. All you have to do is build for speed, high accuracy, and you will have yourself an action bar nuking, death breaking machine that just will always win a 1v1 against every single bear or bruiser out there, because like I said, he steals action bar, he applies the paralysis debuff, which is really strong, that has the 50% chance of denying active ability effects. So for example, if you throw paralysis on a light bookworm, they have a 50% chance of not reviving an ally if they are using that active ability. So this hero absolutely belongs up in the ranks because of how dominant they are with their single target damage, that they can stack and cycle their turns and steal action bar and apply the death down. And yeah, he just brings so much that I cannot put him in that double S tier. Once again, I might be a little biased because I do have these two heroes, but I mean, from my experience, I was able to finish rank 1 the week I pulled Dark Specialist, just because I was able to bruise every single team out there. So we're gonna throw those two up there. Next up, another high ranked hero I would say is probably the Light Sorcerer. Now the reason why I'm not throwing him in double S tier is because he kind of, his main downside is the low base speed that he has, and unfortunately, because he's in a light dark natural 5-star hero, you're not going to be able to stack and get that additional 5 speed on him ever, probably, unless you're a crazy kraken. So we're definitely going to stick him in the S tier. He's got the great leader skill ability, the 25 universal speed, along with a really stacked skill 3. But that's pretty much all he has going for him. Unless you have like a Dark Doctor Evil to pair with him, then that would probably bring him up to the double S tier. But I'm sure a lot of you guys watching don't have that insane combo. So we're just going to stick him down in S tier, because still the S3 has, you know, the invincibility, the debuff cleanse, the immunity, and it's not on like an insanely long cooldown either. Paired with that leader skill, I would say he's definitely a top tier unit for sure, but kind of just like a one and done hero, unfortunately, but still a really strong one that can potentially pair well with future heroes that get released. I know we're still missing like a Katarina type hero that ignores defense if they have invincibility on them. If we get anything like that, then this guy is definitely bumping up in the ranks for sure, but we're just going to go ahead and leave him in that S tier category. Also, another super strong hero that really doesn't have any counter is going to be the Light Doctor Evil. This hero is absurd. He can stun you through immunity. He can gain a bunch of action bar based off of debuffs that get applied on the battlefield. He reflects any debuff that is applied to him. So your only way to counter this guy is by trying to sustain out all of the control that he's going to apply to your team, or you just gotta one-shot him. So that is the main reason why he's going to be bumping into that triple S tier. I feel like, I mean, all three of these heroes could use like a slight nerf to bring a better balance. But also, you know, I don't know about you guys, but personally, keep them where they are. Just buff the heroes that are going to be in the lower tiers, so we have a healthier meta and we're not just going to be able to see these guys dominating the battlefield. Another really strong LD hero, I know we're kind of targeting LD heroes, but that's kind of their bread and butter. Like LD5s are going to really excel, with a few exceptions, in PvP. So I would say Light Assassin, probably, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I would say he's in that S tier, but once again, borderline double S tier, because he has a 33 arena lead and he actually brings a lot to the battlefield other than just that 33 lead. He's got insane damage, he's got insane survivability, he can revive himself, he can one-shot anybody, he can, yeah, he can boost up your team with that speed lead, and like I said, it's 33%, and that's really rare. We've only got a couple of those guys right now, the Fire Twin and the Water Sphere, and for the most part, those guys are pretty much just used for their leader skill. So I would definitely, we might even bump this guy up into double S tier a little bit later, but definitely going to throw him in that S tier for now. Another really strong PvP hero that's going to go in the S tier is going to be Light Sphere Sage. Not quite double S tier, because I do hear a little bit of feedback about the multiplier on the skill 3, like, you know, maybe it can use a little love and then he'll definitely be bumped up a little bit higher. But you know, he can one shot, and whoever he one shots, the damage gets spread, so potentially you can cleave your team if he uses his skill 3 into a squishy or maybe a high defense low HP hero, or maybe someone that doesn't have a lot of HP left, because the spread damage will then, you know, ignore defense and potentially one shot your opponent. Not only that, but he also has the skill 2 that fully resets an ally of yours. So I think with that duo, also with a great leader skill, I think he's got like a crit damage lead, and it's quite nice, it's really high. But more often than not, you're probably going to opt to like a speed lead, because you're probably going to be using this guy in a cleave, and you'll probably need that speed lead to race them, unless they don't really have a speed contest, or it's just not like a super well prepped defense. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this guy in S tier for sure. Next up, another really high tiered here, or high ranked hero, is going to be that Light Iron Fist. There's only a few counters to this guy. He brings an aura of his defense that he shares with his allies, and that just makes them so tanky. You can't even Lucian teams, or sorry, I said Lucian, you can't even Tree Bookworm teams with Light Iron Fist, because he just adds additional defense that cannot be ignored to his allies, that prevents you from being able to cleave teams with him. Or even if you bring Light Iron Fist with you, you're going to be able to bruise pretty much anybody and everybody. So we are going to definitely throw him in the S tier. And then he's also got the synergy with any defense scaling hero out there. He's just going to increase the damage that they do, or increase their survivability. So he is so nice. He's definitely on my most wanted list for sure. Another one that is higher ranked that I can see right now is going to be the Dark String Maid, especially right now where we're kind of in between the speed meta and the revival bruiser meta. I say this hero just shines so much, specifically right now where we're lacking a lot of anti-revive answers. Like I said, Lightners is such a problem. When you have Dark String Maid, you don't even really have to worry about her too much, because if String Maid gets a kill, she's gonna deny the revive off that hero, and then she can also do decent damage. Maybe if she had better base speed, we'd bump her up in the ranks, but it's not crazy. Like I said, she's got that speed lead on her skill 2. She also has the action bar boost into the attack buff, but that's not really super unique. We've got quite a few other heroes that also have that combo set up, but I think what really makes her shine is the deny revives on her passive ability. So she is definitely S tier worthy. Another really strong hero that I feel like not a lot of people utilize, or maybe some people sleep on, Dark Dr. Evil, and he's gonna get thrown right into that double S tier, because I have seen some insane, oh my gosh guys, I've seen some insane combos with this dude. I know his cooldown reset on his passive is only 25%, but when that activates, it's just nonsense. If it's paired with like a Tree Electromancer, you can do unlimited bombs. If it's paired with like a Water Man-at-Arms, you can do you can literally protect or escort your entire team And yeah, this hero is crazy. Not to mention, he's also got the skill 3 that has the increased cooldown if he does buffs, and then he also decreases cooldown of his allies per buffs that he applies. Or sorry, not skill 3, but his skill 2. So he's just got a lot going for him. One of the better supports for sure. So that's definitely why he does belong in that double S tier, in my opinion. So with all of that said, I feel like, oh, actually, I totally misspoke. I want to say Dark Music Queen might get, oh, it's kind of tough. It is really tough because Dark Music Queen is like one of the best cleaves in PvP right now. She just brings so much, the defense down, the ability to do solid damage herself, the effect up buff. So she just, oh my gosh, I'm like borderline. We're gonna just throw her up in that front spot. We're gonna throw Dr. Evil right next to her because I feel like she is definitely borderline triple S tier. The only downside is like you need good gears for her to shine, but if you have good gears and a comp to surround her, then she's just going to be able to cleave every single opponent out there. And since we just talked about the Dark Music Queen, we might as well go ahead and bring her sister in here because she's also a part of the top tiered heroes, I believe. I'm gonna throw her in that S tier because she does have a lot of uniqueness, right? She has the AoE Oblivion debuff that allows you to ignore passive abilities. The one downside is you're gonna have to bring a strip or buff remover with her because players are starting to farm zeal sets, or they are going to be bringing in immunity cleansers. So also, I mean, you are going to have gears to be able to contest the speed as well. So there are a couple win conditions with her. Like you won't be able to just completely stomp your opponent by bringing her in. So I mean, just based off of her uniqueness that she has, I would say she probably belongs in that S tier for sure. I do think that she has another thing that makes her S tier worthy is her base speed is quite nice. I think she gets like a plus 15 speed bonus when you 6-star her, so that's really nice, which brings her up to like 108 speed, so that's very competitive. She also has an effect accuracy lead, which you probably won't use too much outside of like guild offense, or I mean maybe arena offense too, when you know your opponent is not going to be able to contest the speed race with you. But yeah, her control and debuffs that she brings to the table are just top notch. So she is absolutely going to be put in that S tier. After that, we do have maybe we'll touch on, hold on. Okay, yeah, definitely Dark Electromancer, another S tier hero. You've got, I mean, this is Gianna from Summoner's War, which is just a crazy unit for any of you guys that have played Summoner's War. This hero has a buff remove into a stun, applies the insane burn debuff, which like halves your health if you use a ability with the burn debuff on yourself. Not only that, but you've also got like action bar boosting if you crit with your skill 1, which will help you cycle your abilities. And then it also has a bomb on the skill 2 plus an additional turn, which even further helps your cooldown reduction on yourself. So once again, a really strong hero. Maybe even double, nah, actually no, I don't really think it's double S tier, unfortunately, because I mean, at least right now, maybe when we get to real-time arena. Let's go to another top tier hero that I feel like, okay, this is actually going to be one of the first non-LD heroes that I think belongs in the S tier, and that's going to be the Fire Specialist. This hero has a nice speed lead, brings a lot to the table, right? Like we've got the control that it has on the skill 2, the stun, the dots, and then not only that, but you've got the HP damage that depends on how many debuffs you're attacking your opponent, and that's gonna do even more damage. So this hero is a controller, is a buff remover, is a speed lead, and is a damage dealer. So I would even say borderline double S. because there's like not a lot of counters to the hero yet. I do think like the fairy family, I saw the water fairy, that might be a nice little counter that brings some mitigation if you are under debuffs or control. I can't remember what exactly it was, but once that hero gets released, then this, yeah, I would say we're going to leave Fire Specialist in the S tier just with the anticipation of the Water Fairy being released relatively soon. Otherwise, I would definitely be throwing him or her into the double S tier. Next, we do have the, I want to say the Light Monk is another S tier hero. Action bar reduction or action bar boosts help boost himself, and then he's got like an insane skill 2 where he can remove buffs, stun potentially. We've also got the defense down on the basic ability, so you're gonna have a high chance of dropping that def down and then being able to nuke anybody. So I think like the RNG that this hero and the ability to counter action bar boosting that this hero brings is just so unique that once again definitely belongs in that S tier category. Once again, when real-time arena comes out, maybe it gets bumped up to S, double S, or triple S, but we will definitely be doing a dedicated tier list just for that content. And next up, since we did talk about the Light Monk, we might as well talk about the Dark Monk. Personally, I feel like this hero is A tier. I don't know what it is, but since we're not considering real-time arena, most of the usage for this hero is like on your defense and then situationally on offense if you know the defense has like a support ability and then not a lot of buffs, so you can specifically remove one of the buffs, hopefully it's like immunity, and then get off that silence. But since I don't know, I feel like Dark Monk could use an additional buff remove on his passive, because right now pretty much you can just bring in like a multi-buffer like Tree Nurse or Fire Robo, and then since you have immunity applied, you just won't get silenced and you could just completely negate this hero's passive. So right now I feel like it definitely belongs in that A tier. It's a solid bruiser. You got the defense down, you got the true damage based off of the HP that this hero has, so you can build him really tanky. But I just feel like, I mean, I can't put him in this S tier category. Since we have kind of got a lot of the higher tiered heroes out of the way, I'm just gonna start going down the line, and I do want to kind of keep it relatively short just so I'm not wasting your guys' time, but still giving you guys a solid idea of what the hero brings to the table and why they're placed in the ranking. So next up we do have a Dark Puppeteer, and I'm gonna throw them in the A tier as well next to the Dark Monk. Really like a solid hero for sure. They excel at what they do. She has an amazing effect resistance lead for arena. Specifically, it's like 42%, which allows you to bring or build high resistance teams on your team. It's just like 42% is crazy. Currently right now, if you build 100 resistance over whoever, like the accuracy, like your opponent's accuracy, then you will always resist their debuff. So that's like half of that chunk right there. So that's one reason why we're throwing them in A tier. Not only that, but Dark Puppeteer has nice base speed. The passive ability has nice RNG and control. The skill 2 has nice control. So definitely an A tier hero. After that, we've got the Light Puppeteer. So the Light Puppeteer also has like a really nice leader skill for arena. I think it's like 42% HP, which is ridiculous. But unfortunately, like I don't know, I don't really have a crazy amount of experience with the Light Puppeteer, so I'm not exactly. I just feel like it's an A tier hero just because like the skill 2 has the remove all debuffs, the cleanse that the other puppeteers have, plus the sustain, like the heal. the skill 3, the switch the action bar and HP bar ratios of the target, then increase your action bar of all allies by 15%. That's like super niche. I feel like that's, I don't know, this hero just feels very situational. You can't just plug them into everything and win. So yeah, I think it also belongs in the A tier. Not to say it's bad or anything. I think there absolutely are uses. Like if you pair it with like a tree barbarian comp, then you'll definitely have a fun time for sure. So next up we do have the dark sphere, and this is super unique hero that does reflection damage, super tanky, has AoEs that are annoying if you build them on bash. So I would throw this on, or throw this in S tier. It's more of a nuisance than a dark monk is, or any of these puppeteers are, especially like in arena during like rush. If you don't have the right heroes to bypass the passive, or if you don't have enough damage, or I mean even if you do have enough damage, you're just gonna one-shot yourself by the reflect. So you kind of have to really cater your team around this hero when you do see him. So I think that's what makes him an S tier hero. And then also we do have Fire Sphere. Oh man, so Fire Sphere is really unique, so I'm also probably going to put him in that S. Actually no, I'm going to throw him in A tier, because these other heroes are bringing something different to the table. But like this is one of the best attack boosters in the game. I don't know if you guys have seen the current meta where everyone just brings Fire Worm or double Fire Worm, or Fire Worm plus Treeworm, and you're able to one-shot like pretty much any defense. So that's insane. I feel like that's pretty much what it is though. He's an attack booster, so you want to bring him on like inspired sets, immunity so he doesn't get stunned right off the bat, and pretty much that. But I feel like right in the current meta that we're approaching or in, where there's a lot of water mercenaries, that it's kind of a little more difficult time to bring this guy, because also you have to make him super tanky to where he can survive the hit from the mercenary mommy. And then also like people are building revival sets on their teams now, so even if you do one-shot them with your worms, they're just going to come back, and then potentially, you know, they might be on faith, so then they're going to get boosted up, and then they can get their abilities off, and you might even be going against a fully HP or fully healed team once again. But I do think that this guy definitely has a place in A tier, because he's still really good. I'm missing him. I'm not able to experience that amazingness where you can just do an insane amount of true damage with those worms. But for any of you guys out there that do have him, definitely try to build up that comp, because he really excels there. And then also, it's not only just those worms, but it's pretty much if you pair this guy with any multi-attacking damage dealer, then you're gonna have a great time. I've seen people use him with Dark Men at Arms. I've seen people use him with maybe a couple others, but it's really those worms, since they're so obtainable right now. So that is where we're gonna throw the Fire Sphere in. Also up next we do have the Water Sphere. Now the Water Sphere is like a B tier hero. He's not Samath from Summoner's War. He doesn't do enough damage, so I feel like if they boosted up his multipliers, then he's getting bumped up into A, potentially S tier. But right now you really only bring Water Sphere in for the RNG of getting a stun off from his AoEs if you have him on bash set or an increased cooldown, and his speed lead, which is 33% in arena. So that's pretty much it. Like, he's not a damage dealer. He's more of like a stally RNG control with the speed lead, and that's pretty much all he has, which isn't bad by any means, but I just feel like he could definitely use a little something to get bumped up. But next up we do have a Tree Sphere, and Tree Sphere is really growing on me. I am loving this hero. if you pair him with like a dark nurse, you're gonna have an insane amount of cooldown reduction on your team. Not to mention he has the skill 3 that strips all buffs on one hero and then pushes back everybody else's action bar. So if you pair him with a buff remover, you're gonna be able to keep your opponent controlled and then apply that paralysis debuff, which is insane. Oh my gosh, it just adds the extra RNG. So for example, like any bear on their skill 1, they've got that 50% chance, I think it is, to apply the defense down. If they have paralysis buff on them, they will never land the defense down, which is like their main threat in my opinion. So I think that buff brings so much to the table. And then also he's got that skill 2 that shares with the light sphere, where he resets the allies cooldown, which is just crazy. And then the skill 1, which has that buff removal. I think for real-time arena, when we do a list there, he will probably even be S tier, because he also has really nice base speed, and yeah, he really complements control. If you have any like heavy nuker like Dark Assassin, you can pair those two together and get off the double snipe right away. So he just has a lot going for him. After that, we do have the Barbarian family. Oh man, unfortunately, you guys are probably gonna roast me for this, and I'm probably gonna hear a lot of hate in the comments, but Dark Barbarian is not amazing right now, unfortunately. I feel like he's really going to shine when real-time arena comes out, but right now he is, I would say he's B tier, maybe A tier, maybe he's like high B tier for sure. So we'll just throw him in front of the water sphere, like that really means anything. I'm not like crazy putting these guys in order. Maybe towards the end we'll reorganize it, but if they're in S tier, then they're pretty much S tier heroes. So yeah, he's I don't know what it is, but I've seen him on defenses, and he's just not a great defense hero, unfortunately. He's probably great for PvP offense when you know what you're bringing him into. Like he could be a great light bait, and that's pretty much all he's kind of used for right now. He also has the crit damage mitigation on his passive ability, which is okay, which might help you with like some additional survivability, but once again, like it's not enough to throw him on defense. You could still bookworm defenses with Dark Barbarians there. Maybe like people just haven't really found his potential quite yet. I think honestly, if you throw him on a revival set, you get that additional chance to get that skill 2 off with the ignore defense, but I think a lot of people are going to bounce between revival and vampire on him. So unfortunately it is what it is, but he's definitely getting thrown in that B tier just because his usability is not released. Themed arena is not here yet. And then up next we do have Fire Barbarian. I think this guy is he might be our first C tier hero, which doesn't mean he's bad by any means, but it just means that like he is good, but there are better people to use at his position. Like for a lot of people, you're gonna be using him as like an anti-cleave bruiser hero, and we just have so many of those that we haven't even touched on right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw him in C tier. Maybe we adjust this and put him in B tier too. Actually, no, yeah, we're throwing him in C tier. He could still use like a slight buff or some sort of love. I don't know what it is, but also I don't have him. I go against him on defense, and he doesn't really give me as much trouble as a B or A or S tier hero would. So he's going in C tier. Next up, we've got the Light Barbarian. This is absolutely I would say A tier hero for sure. Like he brings a lot of uniqueness to the table. Anti-control hero, can hit really hard. You can build him super tanky and he'll still hit really hard. Yeah, maybe maybe I'm being too generous. Maybe he's like high A plus, but he's a great bruiser and he is great at being an anti-control hero. When RTA comes out, if they keep the same buffs that they have right now, he's probably getting skyrocketed to triple S tier. But for now, not without considering RTA, we're gonna throw him in S tier for sure. Next up, we do have the Water Barbarian. Now, Water Barbarian's another really like, he's a solid bruiser. He's not like the best by any means, so I'm gonna throw him in C tier. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for putting these barbarians where they are, but I just feel like they could also use some love, because right now, whenever, like, we don't really see water barbarians too much in Guild Wars, which should be his place outside of real-time arena, of course. But yeah, we just hardly see him, and when we do, we just go ahead and tree bookworm him. So he's just not super, yeah, he's not anything special right now, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. So last but not least, in the Barbarian family, we do have Tree Barbarian, and he's definitely unique. He belongs in A, if not S tier. And the reason why is because he's just a hard counter to speed. Like, right when the game first released, he wasn't super amazing, but as the game has gone on, what is it, the Water Twin Blade has just got buffed to speed scale. So as more speed scaling damage dealers come out, the higher rating Tree Barbarian is going to have. Not to mention, he's going to help you contest speed, because you just can go ahead and push back their action bar booster, and then you'll have that potential of having your fastest hero go next. And then also, he's, you know, he's a solid bruiser. He counters speed scalers, so yeah, he definitely brings a lot to the table. Next, we've got the Dark Twin Blade, and the Dark Twin Blade is so unique. Oh my gosh, this hero definitely belongs in S tier. Definitely really solid damage dealer, has a debuff spread, and oh my gosh, if I could assume that every single person here or watching this video had water specialist with their Dark Twin Blade, then we'd probably be putting him in double S, if not, yeah, probably double S tier. But for now, we'll keep him in the S tier, just because we don't want to like assume you have all the crazy combos. So with that said, you can bring him with water specialist and spread the hex debuff to everybody, and it's just crazy. But not just the hex debuff, right? The defense break, a stun, literally anything. So that's what seals the deal on putting him in the S tier. He just has a lot going for him, the control, the damage, and yeah, he belongs there for sure. Next up, we've got Fire Twin Blade, and this is a unique hero, a lot better than Water Sphere, so I can't put him next to him, so we're gonna throw him in A tier. He's got a great speed lead. You can build him really tanky on revival set. He has a revive. He can't be pushed back action bar wise, and then also he scales with HP on his skill 1, so the damage that he deals, even though he's built tanky, is still going to be, excuse me, really decent. So he definitely belongs in that A tier. I see him everywhere on defense, not so much in guild, or yeah, not so much in guild defenses, but for offense you could still for sure use him for that extra survivability, or just that extra safety net. Like if you bring him in with like a really strong nuker, you don't even have to worry about your nuker getting one shot, because as soon as your Fire Twin Blade moves, he's going to bring him back to life, and also give him the unkillable buff, so he can't get one shot right away. So really strong hero. Next up, we have the Water Twin Blade. We were just talking about him. He is insane now, guys. This dude is so freaking crazy. After his recent buff where they gave him the speed scaling, he is just crazy good. He can hit so hard. He can hit with your fastest hero on your team, so that's just even more damage. I get cleaved by him so often, so I'm definitely throwing him in that S tier, because this guy he's scary to go against for sure. Next up, we do have the Tree Twin Blade. This is a solid hero. I like him for the leader skill that he brings, which is the effect accuracy increase. It helps you go against like the high resistance teams, and he's also great at going against bruiser defenses because he'll just steal their defense, allow your nukers to have an easier time to one-shot them, or he can one-shot them. And he also has a buff remove or a buff steal, I think it is. He's got a defense down, brings a lot to the table, so we're just gonna throw him in the A tier because he's just as good as his fire brother. I would say he definitely belongs along the lines of these other guys for sure, just because of like how like he can hit hard, you can build him tanky, he can steal attack and defense, steal buffs or strip buffs or remove buffs, whatever it is, I can't remember, and then also defense break. So he's got a lot of what it takes to have a successful time in PvP. And then next up, we do have the Fire Dr. Evil, and this hero is good. I would say, I mean, it's only really good in offense, right? And it's not even good all the time because one, you have to give him some setup. You got to give him an attack buff, or not an attack buff, but you have to land defense break, and we're kind of in a heavy resistance meta right now, and then also in revival meta right now. So it's not like, I mean, he's gonna one-shot people once, but if they're on revival, then it just doesn't work. And he has a really hard time dealing with bears, I feel like, unless you have him on a high effect accuracy build, or pairing him with like a dark pumpkin to increase his effect accuracy so his debuffs or control does land. So I'm probably gonna throw him in B tier. Like you can definitely have success cleaving teams with him, but I'm not really convinced on using him. I have him, I haven't used him a single time. Maybe that's because I have like better alternatives, which is probably why he belongs in B tier. Like I would say Tree Bookworm, Dark Bookworm, Fire Bookworm plus Fire Spear, those are going to be your go-to cleavers right now. So this is, yeah, he definitely belongs in that. Maybe even, nah, I feel too bad if we put him in C tier, because I feel like he does do a good job at what he does bring, or does do, right? Like he does a great amount of damage. It's just we're falling out or moving into that revival meta, so you're just not going to be able to cleave everything and everything, or anything and everything. And then that does bring us to the Water Dr. Evil, which I would say he's like C tier, maybe B tier, but I'm gonna throw him in C tier right now because unfortunately you don't see him too much. He's got a great base speed, so that's something he's got going for him. Maybe if he had like a cleanse on his skill 3, then we'd definitely be putting him up in the ranks, but he kind of has to get a turn and then outspeed and survive. I don't know, he has, and then also he's kind of like a one-trick wonder. All he's really there for is getting his skill 3 off. And yeah, his skill 3 is kind of stacked. It's got the reflect, the immunity. Skill 2 I think is the speed down and then speed up on your allies and opponents, so that's cool. But I don't know, I just feel like he just doesn't really have a insane spot in the meta right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and throw him next to the Barbarians. Maybe we'll move him up later, but for now he's a good answer, an okay answer for anti-cleave or anti-control, but he's not the best by any means. Next up, we do have Tree Dr. Evil, and this guy I would say has like a better time or an easier time in the PvP meta right now, just because he has the action bar pushback, which helps him if he doesn't one-shot. I mean, most of the time he probably will be one-shotting, but I feel like yeah, he's probably an A tier hero. Maybe I'm being too generous, but yeah, I definitely think this guy is probably A tier. Let me just go ahead and take a look at his kit right now. I've never really used him too much, just because I'd rather use like a tree bookworm and not have to worry about the action bar pushback, because people are doing resistance builds and tree bookworm doesn't even have that condition. So maybe I drop him down to like a B tier, but yeah, I mean he's good for cleave, kind of like his fire brother. So yeah, we're probably just gonna throw him in that B tier spot. Up next we do have the fire Electromancer, and this is an interesting hero as well. I would say B tier for sure right now, at least. Like anti-debuff hero, good bruiser, has the sustainability for the team, like it can heal based off of the debuffs it has, but easy to like just straight up ignore, not bring debuffs against the hero. I just feel like this hero isn't gonna be super good until real-time arena comes out. You'll see him on defense every now and then, but it's not really like an issue, I guess, even if you're bringing in debuffs, because you could just bring in someone that pushes back the action bar so he can't get a turn, or you can oblivion him or one-shot him, or out. Yeah, I don't know, he definitely just doesn't compare to anyone in this A tier, unfortunately, so he's gonna get thrown down there. For a light Electromancer is kind of a meme. This might be one of the worst. Nah, hold on. Maybe I'm... I don't know. I hear a lot of complaints from every single light Electromancer owner that I've ever talked to. So this might be the first D tier hero on the list, unfortunately. Devs, give this LD some love, please, because like... I don't know, was this hero only made to be good in Death Lab? Because I just can't... I haven't had an issue with this hero whatsoever. I don't see anybody use this hero either. I don't know what it is, but like, he's got an action bar boost, he's got counterattack buffs, he's got like buff removal on the skill 2, kind of similar to the water one, and it's AoE, but since RTA isn't out, this hero is just not really amazing. Maybe we throw him in C tier. I feel too mean, because eventually we'll get to a point where we're throwing in some really bad legendaries in that D tier, and he's not as bad as those guys. So we'll definitely, like, C tier still could use a buff. So that's, yeah, that's probably where he belongs for sure. Next up we do have the water Electromancer. Really solid unit, kind of takes a lot of skill ups to be worthwhile or anything, but I would say it's probably A tier. Probably A tier, because he's got an action bar boost on the skill 3 that's kind of stacked, heal on the skill 3, cleanse on the skill 3, AoE buff removal on the skill 2. Skill 1 helps boost action bar if you do crit, which will help cycle even more. So I think this is definitely an A tier hero. Yeah, definitely A tier hero. And then up next we do have a Tree Electromancer. This is like one of my core heroes that I use all the time, so I'm gonna throw him in S tier. Like, it enables so much. It enables like all the bomb compositions, one of the best single target damage dealers, not to mention it also has an AoE buff steal, which is crazy, and then it's got the skill 1 that does help it cycle with the action bar boost. So definitely, yeah, we're throwing him in the S tier. You guys might not agree, but he just brings every bomb comp together, and then you don't even have to use him in bomb comps to have success with him. And he's usable on defense, offense, all of the PvP content. So we're throwing him in S tier for sure. It might look a little weird, or maybe we might have to, nah, I was gonna say maybe we throw Water Twin Blade down to A tier, but I think Water Twin Blade is just as good now after the buff. So going next, we've got the Light or Dark Iron Fist, and this hero is like a pretty good bruiser, I know a lot of bruiser players that can't wait for this hero just because of how unique that passive is. I think, yeah, when you're attacked, you apply Vengeful Mark, and at the start of the turn, if no enemy has this effect also, then it automatically gets to apply to the enemy with the lowest HP. So really cool. And also, when you attack an enemy with that debuff, you're guaranteed to crit, and it heals for 50% of your damage dealt. So really strong bruiser. Maybe even borderline S tier. Definitely upper A for sure. And then next up we do have the Fire Iron Fist. This is also a tier hero. I think it probably belongs next to the Water Electromancer and all the rest of these guys. It has the skill 3, the action bar boost, plus immunity, plus a defense down stun on the skill 2, which is a low cooldown, the buff remove on the skill 1, and then also a really nice base speed. So potentially A to S hero, depends who you're talking to, but I use this hero quite often just because it's one of my few anti debuffs or anti-control heroes that I do have going for me. So maybe even high A tier for sure. And then next we do have the Light Iron Fist. Man, this guy is also not good, but also not like crazy bad. So we're also gonna just put him in that C tier next to all the rest of these guys who can use just a little bit of love. Okay, just a tiny bit of love. Unfortunately, this is Artemil from Summoner's War, so maybe it's just waiting on Real-Time Arena to come out. But for now, it's just, there's so many better bruisers out there, like 3-star heroes that are better bruisers than this hero. So yeah, and there's so much ignore defense in the game currently that it just has a tough time right now. So yeah, maybe give a buff to where if you are crit, kind of similar to Ragdoll, or not Ragdoll, Dark Barbarian, where you do the ATB increase to all of your allies, that might make it shine a little bit and we'll bump it up. But for now, yeah, it's a C tier hero in my eyes. And then next we do have Water Iron Fist, which is it's a good hero. It's probably C tier though. I would say it could use like a little bit of love too. Borderline B for sure. Like, not a bad hero by any means. Probably is just waiting for Real-Time Arena to come out. Like, it's a good bruiser. It can get the job done for sure, but unfortunately we just have so many of those in the game. And I mean, we've got bruisers that do like 40,000 damage that ignore defense. Shout out to Tree Pumpkin. So it's just, it's hard to compete with those kind of guys right now in that bruiser realm, unless you just, you know, kind of have the aura or the passive that Dark Barbarian has, which brings other things than just being a bruiser to the table. So yeah, we'll probably leave Water Iron Fist down there in C tier. I don't know. I guess maybe B tier, but I might be biased. I think I'm definitely biased. I just tree Electromancer this hero every single time, or not even that, but like you could just out bruise this hero every single time. It just, maybe it doesn't have enough self-healing or something. I personally, I don't like that it scales with defense, to be honest with you guys. I think if it's scaled with HP, then it would be in a way better spot. But having to be built on high defense just is not really good. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it in C tier. Next up we do have Tree Iron Fist, which is a great Revivor. One of the few Revivors as well. So I would probably put it in man, it's tough to put him next to all of the rest of these guys in A tier, because I feel like we've got a couple good Revivors that are 4 stars. Man, okay, it's going in B tier. It is going in B tier. It's a great unit by all means. Good unit. So I think that's where all the B tier heroes are going. Good. Like, B is good, A is great, S is awesome, double S is amazing, and triple S is broken. So yeah, that's kind of the ratings that we've got going on. So we'll just throw her in that B slot because yeah, she's a reviver, good for bruising. She's got a good lead for mono tree team compositions, but I could see this hero getting some buffs. Like all of these heroes I could probably see getting some buffs if we're just considering PvP. Yeah, so yeah, that's why they're going in there. I think A tier and up could use like a tiny buff, if anything, but they're fine where they are. So that's how we're gonna keep it. Next up we do have Dark Man at Arms. This hero is really cool, really nice hero. Like really fun hero. I see like some mixed reviews, but also I see people just completely destroy me with this hero. I've lost to defenses with this hero on there just because like he gets that extra turn if someone revenges you and puts you below 50%, and then he just is able to snipe anybody. You pair him with someone that can give him some mitigation, or maybe even someone like Fire Sphere, and that's an amazing combo, and he'll just do even more damage and be able to one-shot everyone and everybody, or anyone and everybody. I keep saying that wrong, but yeah, we're gonna throw him in S tier because he for sure belongs here. And then next up we do have Fireman at Arms. Man, this guy is really good, really good. Not like crazy good, but he's great. So I'm gonna throw him in A tier because he's like one of the best bruisers in the game. He's got the self-immunity buff, plus attack buff, plus the extra turn, which helps cycle his skill 3, plus the revenge threat if his skill 3 is on cooldown, which can like one-shot anybody with a defense down setup. So he's really scary. And then he's also got a provoke, which like forces you to attack him, which makes him even more of a threat, and a really nice HP leader skill, which helps him out quite a bit because you're probably gonna bring him or put him on like a tankier defense. So he's definitely going in that A tier because he's great, and he's meta in guild war or territory war defenses right now. So we also have the Light Man at Arms. Oh man, this guy is really good. He's got the speed lead, he has the cleanse, he has the cooldown reset. I think he has a cleanse. I'm pretty sure he has a cleanse, but he's got the AoE full cooldown reset. Like he is one of the few heroes that is going to be able to counter light specialists. So I mean, if you have an LD5 to counter an LD5, then congrats, but we're not gonna really consider that when looking at the counters for light specialists, just because LD5s are rare. They really are. And then also he has the AoE effect up buff for your team. Man, this guy might even be SS tier. I think he might be SS tier just because of how much he does for everything. Like he has protection with the skill 2 that has escort, which gives him an additional turn, which helps cycle his cooldowns further. He has the effect up buff for his allies, so if you're bringing in debuffs or control or anything, that's going to help you out there. He's got the AoE ally cooldown reset. That can't be increased because, you know, that's the ability. It can't be increased or decreased cooldown wise. And then he has a speed lead, a 25% speed lead that's universal. Yeah, I think this guy has what it takes to be SS tier. You guys might not agree with me, but this is on my most wanted list, so of course I'm going to be biased towards him. He's amazing. I just can't say it enough. He's great. So he belongs in that double S tier. And the next up we do have Waterman at Arms, and this guy, man, this guy is really good, but I'm just not sure if he is S tier good. Actually, yeah, I think he is S tier good. I think he definitely is S tier good because he is just as good as these RGB guys right here. Like he has the full action bar reset, AoE, plus a freeze, which has the increased damage set up if you use him like that, but he's also got the skill 2 that does the escort plus the extra turn, which helps cycle that skill 3, and then he has a freeze on his basic ability, so he is just non-stop controlling, non-stop resetting action bar, and non-stop protecting his allies. So he's really good. He's really good. This is gonna bring us to our first D tier hero, Tree Man at Arms. He is so freaking bad. I don't know what it is. They need to add some like max HP scaling to his abilities, and maybe like a cleanse to the skill 3 or something, like a debuff cleanse, or maybe even like a 1 turn increased cooldown against your enemies, or I don't know, something. But he's just not good. So this is why I couldn't put a light Electromancer or any of these guys in D tier, because they just aren't as bad as Tree Man at Arms, unfortunately. I feel, I don't know, maybe you guys think I'm being too hateful, but he is just not, he's not it. He's got low base speed too, so you can't even use him in like a speed contest buff strip unless you've got crazy gears, or you're going for like a trap build or something on Faith set. I don't know, he's just not it, fortunately. So that's gonna bring us to Light String Maid, and she's pretty good. I feel like she's pretty solid. I think she's S tier for sure. People kind of sleep on her, but well, actually, hold on, let me just double check. I can't remember what her base speed is. That's probably going to be the deciding factor on whether she's S tier or not. But yeah, her base speed is really nice. It's 110 because she gets plus 15 speed from 6 stars. So yeah, we're throwing her in S tier for sure, because she has a unique passive that increases damage on whoever she heals. It also increases the healing effect on those guys. Yeah, yep, and that stays with them until she heals another target. She also has a full action bar increase on her skill 2, plus some heals, and she has an effect resistance leader skill that's universal, so you'll be able to bring it for Guild Wars, real-time arena, all of that jazz, plus her having an insane base speed. So she's great. Her basic ability is okay. She's got the action bar pushback plus the 3-time hit. Could be nice against, I don't know, it has situational use for sure, but the main bang about her, the main gimmick for her is her passive, her base speed, and her skill 2. So she's gonna be slotted into that S tier for sure. I've lost to quite a few of these heroes because I've underestimated them. And then we've got the Fire Monk, which is, I would say, a C tier hero. Like, it could use a buff. I think what the main downside about this guy is you want to build him, like, he just needs so many stats. He needs accuracy, he needs speed, he needs damage as well, like attack damage. Also needs tankiness too, because if they don't glance, then he's gonna get one shot for sure. So I think he could use a slight buff to his passive, and then he'll probably be in a good spot. And then up next we've got the Water Monk. This guy's great. I would say well, actually probably B tier. Definitely B tier. Well, man, it's kind of tough, because there's a few situations where he's really good. Like, if you have Light Spear, pair him with the Water Man at Arms, get them low enough to where you can one-shot your opponent with the spread damage, then it's a great combo. But also but he pairs really well with invincibility heroes, because he won't take self-damage. He pairs really well with the Dark Ant, because you could just do a double snipe, guarantee a kill. So I would probably say A tier, actually. I think he's got a lot going for him, because also the skill 2 is pretty good, and I wouldn't even say he needs a buff. So I would, yeah, he's A tier in my mind. And that does bring us to the tree. Oh my gosh, the Feng Yan, the Element Fission Feng Yan. He is B tier. He could use a buff for sure. I think the main issue that these monks have, but the one upside that this tree monk has versus the fire monk is the ability to have that counter or the self boost from the action bar pushback. I think that really saves him, because you can potentially cut in and then pop your skill 2, give yourself some sustainability, and then do something. Whereas this fire monk is really RNG based, and I'm just not super fond of that. So yeah, we're throwing him in B tier. He could use an increase to his passive or something to maybe give him a little bit more damage to make him a higher threat. But he's got a lot going for him. The skill 1, defense down, skill 2, cleanse, counter buff, plus heal over time to allies. And that's great, but I just think both these guys need some love to their passive abilities. Next up, we do have Fire Music Queen, and I have a love-hate relationship with her, but she's still really good. I feel like she's an A tier hero for sure. With all things considered, yeah, she's got a really good base speed. She's got the buff remove into the pushback. The thing is I don't think she's as good as Fire Specialist, just because Fire Specialist brings more to the table, so I can't put her into that S tier, unfortunately. And then she also has that RNG chance where she just won't even push back or strip or anything. So if she fails at that one job that she has, then she's kind of useless. So she's going to be put next to all these A tier heroes. Definitely doesn't need like a buff. I mean, she could use a slight buff, maybe like a increased effect chance to the third skill, but also that's kind of what makes her balanced. So I would throw her in that A tier for sure. So next up we do have, oh my gosh, Water Music Queen. You guys might hate me for this, you really might hate me for this, but her base speed is so low that I cannot put her any higher, because she does everything a 4-star hero can do, Fire Robo, which has a higher base speed. And yeah, he does it just as good, maybe even better, because he's the skill 2 heal plus cooldown reduction, whereas she just has like if you need the sustainability from the shield, which you probably don't if you're cleaving with her, because everyone's gonna die. Yeah, I don't know, I think she's B tier. If they give her a base speed increase, she's going up to A, depending on how much it is. Like if it's like 5 increase, then A. If she gets a plus 15 speed boost when she's 6-starred, then she might even be S tier quality. But for now, yeah, for now she's a B tier hero. And then, oh my gosh, this brings us to another one of the worst natural 5-star heroes in the game, Tree Music Queen. She is just, she is not good without Real-Time Arena, I think. Like when Real-Time Arena comes out, she might get bumped up a little bit higher if you have the Tree Sphere combo or some sort of reset combo. Maybe you got Dark Dr. Evil, that might go hard. But right now she just is not very good. I think the only my main use for her is some tunnel stages, which yeah, brings us to a nicely top tier hero. I would say Dark Nurse is S tier for sure. She's got everything it takes. She's got the cooldown reduction for her allies, the cooldown increase for her opponents, the action bar pushback, the oblivion on the skill 2, the heal on the basic ability. She's very, very good. So I'm gonna throw her next to all these other really good heroes. She's not broken. She's not like you're not automatically gonna win like you would if you brought these double S or triple S heroes on your team, but she's definitely going to set you up for success for sure. And yeah, oh my gosh, that brings us to Fire Nurse, which I think is, man, Fire Nurse is, this is kind of a tough one. She's also kind of borderline double S, but we'll probably just put her in the S tier because she was slightly nerfed. They changed her skill 2 to be a 50% action bar increase versus 100, so that kind of balanced her out a little bit, but she's still really good. That is going to bring us to the water nurse, and this is another, man, this is another, the nurse family, you guys are going to see the nurse family is like one of the best families in the game. Shoot, this hero is so unique. 100 crit damage to your highest crit damage ally, which just allows you to cleave like everything. You could tree bookworm so many defenses that you shouldn't because you have water nurse. So I think that unfortunately, I mean, it, yeah, she's got like a slight increase above, she's a little bit more going for her than just Fire Spear, who is like one of the best attack buffers in the game, because she has the skill 2 that also defense breaks and applies Oblivion, and then she also can hit really hard too. So she's a damage dealer, an Oblivion applier, and a damage buffer, so she belongs in this S tier for sure. And next up we do have the Tree Nurse, which also definitely belongs in S tier. She's got a lot going for her. She also has the skill 2, same one as the Water Nurse, same one as the Dark Nurse. You guys might see how strong that skill 2 is now. But yeah, the Oblivion plus defense break, the heal on the basic ability. The skill 3 is stacked. She applies immunity, speed buff, attack buff, which is like everything you need or want from a support buffer if you are trying to cleave, or if you're trying to prevent yourself from getting controlled by debuffs or debuffed in general, or even, yeah, she's like one of the main counters for Dark Monk too, so she really belongs up, or another counter for Fire Specialist too, because there's no way, there's going to be a little bit more RNG with stripping the buffs that she has, since she has 3 that she applies with one freaking skill. Not to mention she has also a speed increase, so she's got amazing speed. Up next, one of my LD5s, one of my first LD5s, Dark Mercenary. Man, this is kind of a tough one because she's got a soft spot. I want to throw her in S tier. I really want to throw her in S tier. She's a great bruiser, but she has like one downside, right? You can't throw her on defense really, because she's a defense scaling hero, so she's just gonna get one shot by all of the, like, the Clockworks, the Tree Bookworms, really anybody, any cleaver is gonna be able to one shot her if she has the defense down, debuff on her. She just, yeah, she is unfortunately not like, I don't even know, maybe she's even like a B tier hero, but I could be, nah, I think she's A for sure. She's still unique. I think what makes her shine in the A tier is the fact that she can 100% control someone with her basic ability, because it's a 100% stun chance, and she counterattacks with it. So I think that's what makes her shine over the other bruisers in the lower tier, because she can completely control you. She can also defense break you. She provokes her, or she applies provoke on herself, which reduces the damage done to her, and then she also applies a fat shield to help keep her survive. That scales with her defense, that also increases the damage that she does. So I think she's A tier for sure. One of like, she belongs next to these other really great bruiser heroes, so we're gonna throw her there. And then Fire Mercenary Mother, I don't know, I think she's a B tier hero, maybe A tier hero. I don't have her, so I think that's probably going to contribute to why I've got her rated so low, but I don't have any issues with her really. I think her main downside is if you defense break her, then you could just straight up one shot her. Like, if you don't have a defense breaker, you're going to have a bad time, or some sort of ignore defense like a bomb or the ignore defense ability, then you might have trouble with this hero. But yeah, she's nothing crazy. Like, yeah, we're gonna throw her in B tier next to the other decent good heroes out there. That does bring us to one of the other non-decent LD5s out there, unfortunately, and this might seem harsh. This really might seem harsh, but she's not good. She needs something to her passive ability. Like, I could see her getting buffed to where she pops her skill 3, which is the AoE provoke, and then gets an additional turn, but she also gives herself 2 turns of unkillable or unyield so that she can actually survive, because that's her main issue. She just has she's a problem surviving. Like, the only time that she survives in battle, unless of course you're using her on offense, is when she has that invincibility buff on her. Other than that, she's dying like turn 2, turn 3. So maybe this is just a real-time arena monster, kind of like the Dark Barbarian, or these other heroes that you guys see, where they won't really start shining or get the increased ranks that they kind of deserve until that game mode is out. But for now, she's not very good, unfortunately. When I say not very good, you can have success with her. She's not awful, she's not D tier, but she definitely could use like a big buff, in my opinion. And then up next we have, oh my gosh, Water Mercenary Mother. She is very good. She is really good. I would say even S tier good. Maybe not. Yeah, actually, yeah, she's S tier good. Her leader skill synergizes so well with her kit, and probably synergizes with your team composition. Allows you to build high resistance on everybody. She hits really hard. She has the stun. She has control. She has a buff. I think she has a buff remove as well. She has like a little gimmick if you pair her with someone that does like a self-control to themselves, like the tree bear, then she'll instantly get a turn and be able to negate like that speed contest. Kind of similar to Tree Barbarian, except she can just do a lot more damage right out of the gate and potentially one shot. I've seen her do like 25,000 damage, which is kind of crazy because you could just straight up kill a squishy nuker. So I think yeah, and then also the fact that she's anti-control, which brings us to Tree Mercenary Mother, and I think she's good. She is pretty solid. Like, she'll help out your bruiser comps. She'll help you mitigate against she's a good anti-cleave hero. She has control if you throw her on revenge set, because she shares damage. Based off of the shared damage, she'll be able to proc that revenge even if you're not attacking her, which has the chance of stunning, which has the chance of increasing her action bar, which is kind of cool. So I think she's like A. Maybe, yeah, I think she's A. She's more in meta than these B and below heroes, I would say. So that does bring us to Dark Sorcerer, which a lot of my guildies have, and is actually really good. Not like crazy good. I think he's A tier. I wouldn't scream and call my parents if I pulled Dark Sorcerer, but I'd be happy. I would still use him. He's anti AoE, which means like if you do AoE damage, he won't get hit and he can just counterattack you and then nuke you down that way. So he's a good like anti-cleave bruiser type hero. And if you throw him on like the cloak set, then you just can't target him for 2 turns, which is even better. So you just can't straight up kill him. And then up next we do have the Fire Sorcerer, which I would say also is A tier. He's good. Has some downsides for sure, like, you know, you can throw his passive on cooldown. You're probably not going to be building like a high resistance build unless you're 5 head or something. So yeah, there's that way to bypass him. I don't know, he's good. He doesn't need a buff really. Like, he's an anti-cleave unit. He brings damage, he brings some sustain, potentially some control from his basic ability. I think it's got a stun. Most likely probably won't be landing on like high resistance units, because you'll probably just go with like a bruiser build, some tankiness, some damage, keep him alive, keep him up long enough to get some value from that passive ability. And yeah, he's definitely good for sure. Which maybe makes me want to, I don't know, maybe it makes me want to bring the Tree Mercenary Mother down to B tier, because I don't know, I mean, I feel like she could use a buff for sure. She can definitely, like, she's annoying to go against, but she's not as scary as the rest of these RGB heroes, so I can't put her in A tier, unfortunately. So we're gonna go ahead and bump her down. And then that does bring us to the Water Sorcerer. So Water Sorcerer is great. Water Sorcerer is really good. He's not like, I feel like, he's high A, low S. So, I mean, shoot, we're gonna throw him in S tier. He's got amazing base speed. He's got the action bar pushback. He's got a slow debuff. He scales with speed. He's got a silence on the skill 2 ability and a stun on the basic ability. Plus a nice leader ability. It's crit rate. Sometimes you can always use that crit rate leader. So I would say, nah, actually, this is a tough one because Water Sorcerer was my first natural 5-star hero. So I've got a soft spot for him, guys. I really do, but I don't think he's as good as Waterman, like as usable as Waterman is. So I'm, at least in PvP, like you could use Waterman like everywhere, but with Water Sorcerer you kind of need a specific combo. I think if you have Dark Music Queen, then you probably would think Water Sorcerer is S tier. But I'm gonna throw him in A tier because he's good. He's really good. Up next, we've got the Tree Sorcerer. Also belongs in the A tier, I think. The downside is the low base speed, but the skill 3 is so freaking good. It ignores resistance. You can't really use this hero on defense because of the low base speed, so that's probably why we're going to throw him in that A tier. And then, yeah, the skill 2 is cool, but the main gimmick with this hero is going to be the skill 3. So that's, I feel like that's the pattern that we're seeing with the A's, is they kind of have like one gimmick, and it's like their skill 3 or their passive ability, which is good, which is like balanced, which is great, but not like OP, not like insanely crazy like some of these S or double S or triple S tier heroes. And this is going to lead us into Dark Surgeon. I hear a lot of complaints about this guy, but he's kind of cool. I would say like B. This is a B tier hero in my eyes. I don't think he's like as crazy good as these A tier heroes. Like you kind of have to force yourself to use him because there are better options. You kind of use him as like a cleaver right now, at least, until Real-Time Arena comes out. Maybe you probably opt to the bruiser build for him in RTA, but a lot of people use him as that cleaver, and he just does not do or hit as hard as you'd like him to. Which also brings us to Fire Surgeon, and this is an A tier hero, really good. He is a little bit different from the other Oblivion heroes. He can actually apply Oblivion to heroes that you usually can't, because he negates passives with his passive, so that's amazing. And then he also applies Oblivion to any hit because of his passive ability. So he's getting thrown in A tier for sure because he's great. He's really good. Borderline, like I would say high A for sure. Borderline bottom S. I would say Light Surgeon is good. Could use like a slight little buff for sure, but shoot, maybe this is a B tier hero. I would, yeah. Shoot, guys, we might bump him down to A tier. Let me just double check his kit really quick. I guess it kind of depends on his base speed. 95 actually is not crazy, so it would kind of be difficult to build him super fast. I know he scales with speed too. Yeah, I think this is a B tier hero too. You kind of have to like force yourself to use this guy, and there's very small situations where he's like really good. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe high B though. High B, A minus. It is what it is. Next up, water surgeon. This is also kind of like, see, this is a toughie because I don't think that water surgeon is as good as these A tier heroes, so I'm gonna throw him in B tier too. Great damage dealer, has the counterattacks, gets the element advantage against whoever he does attack or whoever attacks him. That's kind of cool. Does some decent damage, scales off speed, has a speed leader. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think maybe this guy is A tier worthy. I mean, he's good. That does bring us to the tree surgeon. Tree surgeon, I would say B tier hero for sure. Could use like a slight buff to the passive, I think, but does his job well. Like, he's an immunity anti-debuffer, and that's pretty much all you're really going to use him for. Maybe if he had like a action bar boost after moving 2, that'd be kind of cool if he does cleanse something, because right now, like, you don't really get the full effect from his passive ability unless he does cleanse a debuff. So you're pretty much just bringing him in for immunity, which is fine, but also there's like a lot more immunity heroes in the game that do more than just that. So I think he's a B tier hero. So that does bring us to tree specialist, and I think tree specialist is great. Probably just as good as like fire Iron Fist in the role, maybe even better, because after the buff, the anti-heal debuff increases the healing he does, or shielding, and I've had that kind of pop off a couple times against me. Not only that, but also like he just sets up your bruiser comp completely. Like, he does really good damage if you stack a bunch of HP on him. Has a cool debuff on the basic ability paralysis. The skill 3 is stacked. You get immunity plus shield plus healing, and then also you have the effect resistance leader skill. So I think this is definitely an A tier hero. Super balanced, really good. And that is going to bring us to the last hero in today's tier list. Oh my gosh, we finally made it. And this is a good one. This is a S tier hero in my eyes. The Hex debuff plus the action bar boost is so amazing. It's crazy. It really is. You compare him with a speed lead plus like a buff. Well, you don't even need a buff remover because he ignores immunity. All you have to do is make sure he has accuracy, speed, and then some survivability, and you will have amazing success with this hero. If you do have the like I said, I kind of mentioned it earlier, if you have the dark twin blade, then these two get bumped into like double S. That's going to conclude our video. You guys finally made it through it. Hopefully this isn't too long for you guys to watch, but hopefully it does help any like newer players identify the stronger heroes that you have pulled, so you aren't wasting a bunch of resources. Let me just do like a quick little, I feel like this is kind of accurate. If anything, you would just move a hero +1 or -1. Especially the heroes that I mentioned were like high A tier, high S tier, low S tier, low A tier, etc, etc. But for the most part, from my experience playing for almost 2.5 months, I feel like this is relatively accurate. As we can see, there's only a couple heroes. I mean, from B down, could definitely use some buff love, but there's only a couple heroes that are just not really good in the current meta, which is great, compared to like Summoner's War, where there's a bunch of unusable heroes in that game. So I think keep doing a great work, Element Fission devs. Keep listening to the community. I would love to hear your guys' feedback on this list. Hopefully I didn't hurt anybody's feelings by putting their hero in a lower tier. Once again, take this tier list video with a grain of salt. This is not law by any means, and it is biased based off of my experience playing. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, hit that thumbs up button once again, and if you want to see future videos, please subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.